Welcome, everybody, to Midday Magazine for this Wednesday, October 23rd, 2024. I have your host, James J. Malouf here. In part two today, we are joined by our good friend, Lisa Rouse, PR and Fund Development Manager with our ODC of Wisconsin Rapids. Lisa, always good to have you in studio. Thanks for being here.
Thank you very much.
Looking forward to diving into some fun stuff coming up with the ODC. But if you don't mind, I'd like to rewind for a second because you guys just had your second big haunted house event. Last year's was gigantic. It was huge. You really took the ball and ran with it and added some things this year, did some fun stuff. I know it was successful because I talked to so many people that went to it and enjoyed it. How was it from your guys' perspective?
It was awesome. If you would have asked us a week and a half ago, we would have said, we're never doing this again because we were exhausted. We did expand it this year and we made it much bigger. So not only did we run the kids portion through the main part of ODC, but we ran everybody else through our production and warehouse this year. So it was a very big undertaking. But about halfway through the event, we're like, we can't wait till next year. So very successful. Had almost 3,000 people through the door. Ooh. And scared a lot of people. There's a lot of screaming going on.
Nice.
So when you're looking at a haunted event, that means success.
Yeah, absolutely. 3,000 is nothing to take lightly. No. That is noteworthy. That is amazing. That's wonderful. And while I heard from a lot of community members and a lot of the people in the area that loved the event, I'm curious, how did the clients enjoy it? Did they have a good time?
They were there. You know, I got to tell you, the clients were so helpful. There was so much to set up and so many little tasks that needed to be done, like getting candy ready for the kids. And we actually used VHS tapes to create kind of this creepy feeling in different areas. And they took them all apart for me and unwound them and put them in boxes for me. They were so excited to be a part of something really big. And then so many of them came the night of the event and helped in the kids carnival, handing out tickets and giving kids candy. And they were just phenomenal.
My heart is singing right now. Yeah. It's so good to hear that. Certainly for the community, that's always great. And it's very good to hear for the ODC. This is a great way to invest in your community, help your community, these kind of events that the ODC hosts and have. But the clients, it always comes back to them, and that's just heartwarming to hear. That's really cool.
They did great.
And a tip of the hat to you and the staff and everybody that worked so hard on this event. I can only imagine what next year's will be like and everything. And you guys aren't alone. We're looking forward to it too.
Yeah, we have ideas.
I can only imagine. And I do want to send a real special shout out to the community that donated items and gave items and everything.
There was so much of that, and I'm going to give a shout out to Crockett Septic that last year, one of the things we ran into was long lines and not enough bathrooms. Yeah. So they provided their porta potties for us for free. And I so appreciate everything that Crockett does for our community and especially for ODC.
Yeah, we're big fans around here. Yeah. They work with us a lot, and we love our friends over there at Crockett Septic. And their jingles get in your head.
I know.
They get right in your head. They stay there. Great people over there. We appreciate them. And that's really cool to hear. We wouldn't have known that otherwise, because that's also noteworthy about Crockett Septic and businesses like that, that do things like this all the time, but don't do it to a lot of fanfare. Right. It's nice to be able to shout them out.
That's very community-minded, and we appreciate them.
You have the Self-Determination Conference that I wanted to talk with you about. Dive into that.
So that's going on right now. Mm-hmm. A number of our people and some of our clients are actually down there right now in Wisconsin Dells. And they're working on how we can serve people better. Mm-hmm. And so the Self-Determination Conference is going on right now. They're talking about all of the things that help us do the things for other people. And those that use our services every day, the people that we serve. And this year, they're really highlighting how to tell your story as a person with disabilities, how you tell your story and how you're heard by others, and then the ways that we serve those people. So really neat conference. They're going to come back with really great information and be able to serve people better because of it. With
the industry that you and your team work in, I think one of the things that stands out to me about this conference or any conference like this is the ability certainly to share information. Hey, we're doing this here and it's working really well. This might help you there. Or even problem solving. Hey, we've got this issue. We're not sure how to fix it. We've tried this, and this, and it's not working. Being able to bounce off ideas off of anybody is helpful, but certainly people that are in industry. And some of the only people that can kind of understand what it is to do that job are people that do that job.
Absolutely.
That's really cool to hear and everything. And having that support. And having that, we as a community try to show that you guys, we have your back and we support the work that you're doing so much. But it really means something so much on another level to have peers having that support and being there for each other. So that is a great part of this conference as well, a big part of it. And there's a highlight to this conference. It hits local for us here.
We do have a highlight to this conference that hit local. So last night, our very own president and CEO, Julie Strun, actually received one of the 4 Die Hard awards.
Yeah,
it's so awesome. And if you know Julie at all, she just does the work every day. She does the stuff every day. She is not a big one for accolades. She's just in the trenches. You ask her to do something and she does it. And I watched her help us clean up from our haunted house. She was sweeping and doing all the things, and that's just her mentality, is to jump in. And so this Die Hard Award is presented to people that have made a significant contribution to advocating for people in Wisconsin. And she does. She does that every single day. And we, as her employees at ODC, get to watch that every single day. So a diehard is someone with a strong commitment to self-determination and goes above and beyond what's expected. And Julie Strun does that every single day.
Well said. And so true. Getting to meet Julie and talk to her a bit, I've always marveled at work ethic like that, and people that have that kind of work ethic. And I think it's always noteworthy, even especially in a time like this, as we get close to an election and some of those things. To me, just from what I've experienced in life, and I've focused a lot on leadership in my life and wanting to be a good leader. The greatest leaders I've seen and I've known on any level don't come out and I'm a good leader. Nope, they just lead. They just do it. They just go out there.
Example.
Yeah, and Julie's a great example of that, of really going out there and doing that extra work, that stuff that goes above and beyond, and stuff that isn't necessarily written into the job description, but they're out there doing it. It couldn't go to a better person. That's so nice to hear. That's great. Among all the great things to come out of this conference, that's one of the really cool, one of the top things to come out of it. That's fantastic, and really do look forward to what might develop from this conference to help out our community and benefit our community a little bit.
Absolutely.
So, and I think that when it comes to something like this, again, just knowing that you guys are be able to get together and have these organic conversations that you wouldn't be able to have otherwise, or share, who knows what kind of information might get shared that wouldn't happen otherwise. That's very cool. And I wish everybody safe travels and hope the conference is going well.
Awesome. Yeah.
We're speaking with Lisa, PR and Fund Development Manager with our ODC. And Lisa, coming up is the Social Connection Awareness Week, November 10th through the 16th.
Yeah. So, ODC is part of a social isolation coalition for the state of Wisconsin. And so we're really looking into social isolation and what that does to people, how it affects their health. And when you are separated, we are wired to be people, whether we think we are or not. We're really wired to connect to others. And so the Social Connection Awareness Week Summit has a number of things. Starts on November 11th and it goes through the 15th, and it's a lunch and learn webinar, and you have to register in order to participate, but they have amazing workshops. The power of connection, accessible recreation, which is so important, coalition and community building, and intergenerational programs, those older people teaching the younger people, and those younger people that can teach the older people some things as well. And then technology for connection. You have to register for this, but if you reach out to me at ODC, I can get you all the information. Really good opportunity to learn about all these things that affect us every day that sometimes we might not even realize.
With something like this, too, this is an opportunity for you to be able to talk to a real person and ask questions.
Yeah.
Some of these questions might be, pride can get in the way sometimes and keep us from reaching out or something. When you have a real person in front of you and a fellow, community member or something like that, you tend to be a little bit more, feel a little more comfortable sharing some of this stuff. So this is giving an opportunity for some of that. It's giving us an opportunity as well to focus on, while I think we do a decent job, we could do better, but do a decent job of focusing on isolation when it comes to our senior population.
Yes.
We understand we have a healthy senior population here in central Wisconsin, and this is an important storyline when we talk about this, whether it's our seniors or that. We also, every one of us have at least 3 years of data on this from the pandemic,
Right.
and understanding individually, no matter what age you are or what your life situation is, you were isolated. Like
Yeah.
some more than others, certainly. And so many of us are still dealing with the aftermath of that and some of the effects of that. So that part of this can be helpful as well. But when it comes to isolation for the clientele of the ODC and individuals like that, I don't think that we get a chance, like a lot of things in this area, get a chance to focus on that very much. Bringing attention to that, for one, is nice to be able to do. It's healthy to be able to do. But then putting in the work and actually doing something about this, that's where not only you and your staff come in, but us as a community do, I think.
Yeah.
Where we can do something about this. This is something where we can make an impact on.
Yeah, I'm really finding out in working on the Social Isolation Coalition how many parts of our community are isolated that I didn't think were. I look at my kids that are in that late 20, early 30 age, and they're in the rooms playing games and talking to people on Discord servers or whatever, and I'm like, they're not isolated. They talk to people every day, but there is an aspect of that I don't know if we're quite reaching. And so it's not just the older generation, it's not just the people with disabilities, and certainly those people have been affected with isolation, and we all know that. But there's another part with some of these younger, I want to call them kids, they're not kids, but younger kids that I think we need to reach out to, because maybe they don't realize that they're isolated.
It's a great point. And another one of those things that doesn't get brought up nearly enough or talked about nearly enough. One of the ways we can impact something like that is being a good example. And as adults, the way we handle these things,
Yep.
and putting ourselves out there a little bit more, breaking away from some of that isolation. It's not always easy.
It's not. I agree.
And I know what I'm talking about. I am one of those individuals. I work in an industry with people. I work in a medium that's with people. My career is I'm an actor, for God's sake. But I can be very isolated, and I notice sometimes like, I'm getting a little bit too comfortable being alone. Maybe I need to get out there a little bit more. I need to do some stuff. I understand it's not as easy for some as others, and this is one of those things where, as a community, we can give some grace to that, and be have some understanding for that. For every introvert, there's an extrovert, and understanding that we're all a little bit different in that way. That's part of what makes this all fun and different and interesting. When it comes to something like this, you mentioned they had to register. Is there a limited amount of people that can register, or do we need to get people on this quick?
Actually, I don't know. I'm assuming because it's a webinar-based type of learning activity, I'm assuming that there's probably not a limit to that. But they do have to know who's going to be there and out there.
And this Community Friends this project, really, this is something that anybody can be a part of.
Absolutely. Yeah, one of the things that we're working on, and if you watch our Facebook page and jump on our website at odcinc.com, we've been writing things that will hit home with people. Our blog has been featuring some of the things in media that we see all the time. There are a lot of movies and there are a lot of books that actually address social isolation in very different ways. And so I've had an opportunity to write about that, and it has been very interesting. So maybe check that out, and it might give you a different perspective when you look at how the media addresses social isolation.
I look forward to reading that. I look forward to looking into that. It's a topic that is very interesting to me and hits close to home for me. So I look forward to reading that. And I appreciate even just getting into this topic, to be honest. It's, again, another one of those gray areas in our society that oftentimes we have people out there that are hurting, or people that could use some assistance with this, that are suffering in silence, that aren't able to, whether it's in realizing they're dealing with this, not even knowing they are,
Yeah.
or knowing they are and not, okay, well, what do I do now? You
Right.
know, where do I go next?
Yep.
Giving more and more opportunities for people to be able to reach out and do some of these things, to get the help that they want, you know, and live the lives that they deserve to live and everything. It's a great one. Again, the Social Connection Awareness Week is November 10th through the 16th. This is an opportunity for you to be a part of this. If you want to register, go to odcinc.com, find more information. We'll get that information out there again before we wrap up with our friend Lisa today. Lisa, was there anything else on that you wanted to touch on?
No.
Okay. We got some new services happening over at the ODC. Wanted to touch on some of those.
Yeah, so ODC is always growing and always adding things. We really look at the needs in the community and then address those needs. So community connections, we started that in order for people to connect in the community. We help people that are in the community explore things in their community so that they can get connected. So we start the process and then community members tend to take over. So for instance, getting somebody connected to a church and then having the members of that church take those individuals under their wing and get them involved in their programs. Maybe finding what their niche is. If it's theater and they enjoy theater, getting them hooked up with the Grand in Wausau, and then having them volunteer, and then the people in that community take over and help that person connect more. So it's communities connecting people in their community to other people in their community. And of course, we have talked about this often on here with Better Together Friendships as a program designed to create true, authentic, one-on-one friendships by matching adults with disabilities to mentors in their community. This is really important. Our program director, Sammy, has talked on this program before, and we can have a program that people take a part of at ODC, but this is a little different because it's a true friendship. And it can be as much time as you want to spend and working it into your life. It doesn't have to be these grandiose adventures that you go on. You can bring your friend over and make cookies one evening in your home, or it's those little things that make the difference in people's lives. So Better Together Friendships is another one. We are going to be providing a number of these things, and starting in 25, we're going to be expanding. So Community Friends will expand to Wisconsin Rapids, right here in Wisconsin Rapids. We've done some stuff in Marshfield and Wausau, but we're coming to Wisconsin Rapids in 2025. And these social events will increase inclusion and community connectedness for people with disabilities. If you are interested, if we have so many businesses in the Stevens Point area, Delta Dental is one of them that has been a great partner that has really reached out and created activities that are inclusion and provided a space for us. So if you're interested as a business in doing some of those things, we would love to hear from you.
I mention this all the time with a number of different things when it comes to our nonprofits. You've got marketing people out there. You've got a marketing budget. You're not going to find much of a better use and more bang for your buck, if you will, than working with a nonprofit, in particular the ODC. You can't buy the kind of PR you get from working with our nonprofits. So I reach out to your wallet in that regard. But it doesn't take a lot to hit your heart when it comes to this.
I agree.
The work and being involved with the ODC in any way whatsoever, you are going to feel that. You are going to have an impact from that. It's going to hit your heart in a way that you haven't experienced before. And I feel I'll put my name on that. And that includes also volunteering at the ODC. We're always looking for extra hands and people that maybe have an hour or so to kill and can come over and help out. Yeah,
absolutely. When you look at volunteering, what better way to combat social isolation than to be involved with other people. And I agree with you. Just spending that time with somebody, it gives you a really different perspective on life. You may think that you've got hard things in your life, and then you spend some time with somebody with
Mm-hmm.
disabilities, and they are so happy, and they have so much joy, and they bring so much to your life. And like you said, it hits you in all the feels in the heart. And we had 44 friends in the Stevens Point area connected, and to hear their comments and stories on what it's done for their families, what it's done for their relationships, is huge.
Can only imagine, and appreciate so much the great work that you guys are doing over there and what you do for our communities. We say a shout out to the team over there at the ODC, and of course all the clients that we love hearing from all the time. Looking forward to having them in studio again sometime too.
Yeah,
That'll be
absolutely.
fun. Lisa, with the topics we've covered today, if people have follow-up questions, want to know more, want to register for that social connection awareness, any of these things, how can they reach you?
Send me an email at lrouse, LROUSE, at odcinc.com. And of course, you can always reach out to us on our website, and I will get those emails as well.
odcinc.com. odcinc.com is the website. Be sure to bookmark that page and follow the ODC on social media. It's a great way to keep up to date on all the cool things that they are doing over there. And for you to share those things on your social media page, you just never know who might see it that wouldn't otherwise. So encourage you to do that, everybody. Lisa, say hi to everybody over there for us, okay?
I will.
Thank you so much for the time. We will have more Midday Magazine coming up for you right here at 97.5 FM, 1320 AM. WFHR, we are locally grown radio.